Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, it looks like we got rejected here, and it looks pretty bad. I mean, that's a pretty big dump right there. It just looks like that. So it's basically the same kind of thing. So I think we're gonna succumb to this descending triangle, right? I mean, it just looks exactly what it's playing out here, right? So you get these little moves, come back down, get this little five-wave move, kind of like a triangle, then slam down, come back up again, five-wave move, just like over here, get a little bit of a triangle, and then slam back down. So it's basically giving us the same repetitiveness. So the chances of breaking out are becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, right? We have to break this. If we don't break it, it's game over. As far as the bigger move, which is, this will be basically a three-wave move down. So we have three waves down, three waves up, three waves back down, and then we go up. That's our last chance, right? It could also be five. It could be like a 1 2, like a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, something like that. Something, violent, right? So it'd be 3 3 5. It'd be an ABC. Hopefully it wouldn't break below $2, and then we go up. Now, if that fails, if we come down and that fails, and we essentially have, for example, we get basically blocked at this level here. So this is our key area. So what I'm saying is, if we go below that area and we come back and we get rejected, then it opens up a whole new problem, right? Then it's no longer a flat, it's a reversal. And a reversal means what? A reversal means we're most likely coming back down to a key area. Let me remove this. A key area which would be right about, there's a right about in here. So in this zone, that's where we would fall down to if this doesn't work. It could be an expanded flat, right? It could be an expanded flat. So we'll see how it looks. It's really hard to know if it's a running flat, a regular flat, or an expanded flat. And based on, the way it looks as far as its sort of descending triangle nature, usually, when you get these descending triangles, it could be a bigger move than we think. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's so important to break this, to break out of this, right? And if you have and like I said too, if you have a really bullish beginning of the month, it's not as good as having sort of a neutral beginning of the month, but a more aggressive in the middle of the month, right? So this is definitely a major bearish candle. This is the 4-day chart. We have a bearish engulfing candle. So that's bad, right? So it looks like right now, it looks like we should come down, I think it looks like to me that if we come back and test this level one more time, I think it's over. I think, this is going to fall here, and then it's just going to go kaplunk. So unless something saves it, but that's the way it looks right this minute. When we were up here, it looked pretty good, but what was the problem, guys? The problem was we didn't get away from the scene of the crime. We came down, we went straight back up. We came down, we went straight back up. We came down, we went straight back up, as opposed to coming down, building a base, and then going up, right? Which is still possible, but it's just, hanging by a thread here. So to me, it seems like, it seems like it wants to come down to this level, which wouldn't be such a bad thing, you know. Let's see, what would be the measured move approximately if we did break down? It would be actually right at 210. So if we go below 210, then it's bad, right? So I'm still hoping that this is a, you know, an A, a B, and then a 1, 2, and this could be 3, 4, and 5. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like, which means that we should get a dump now, right? And then hopefully go up, and that could be our flat. But if we break this level and we come down and then we come up and get rejected, it could be an expanded flat, but the chances are it's not looking good. So let's see how it plays out. But I wanted to give everyone I wanted to give you guys a quick update here on this chart, you know. So everything looks pretty terrible. Now we still have Wednesday and Thursday, right? The week's not over, but what it looks like right now isn't so nice. You know, Bitcoin's down 3%, which isn't even a bad thing. I mean, Bitcoin's sitting at new all-time highs, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still incredibly bullish from the previous video, right? But today's price action and coming back into that descending triangle just made it sort of, you know, we have to break it, right? Otherwise we're going to crash and we're going to come down. So let's see if this is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then 3 waves back down. We get a 3-wave move here, and then we go up. Or if this 3-wave move is finished and this is a 1, 2, and now we're going up, we're flagging out, we're back testing the all-time high here, we're flagging out, and then hopefully we continue. If that's the case, then that's great. So 2 options are we flag out, we continue, or 3 down, 3 up, 3 back down, then go up and continue. And then the other option is if we do something like this, right, and then we get rejected in here, well, then we can say it's a bigger move, right? So that's basically it for right now. I mean, it still is bullish. Obviously, we have the high. I mean, we're at all-time highs. I mean, how can you be bearish? We're at all-time highs, but you can kind of see that we're starting to get a little bit wedged in here. So wedge, that to me is a very serious problem. That's a rising wedge. All right, and if we can't break above this, then we're gonna break below it and come back down to here, which is probably even maybe likely if the top is in, and then we would come up in a retrace. We would come up in a retrace, and that would be a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. All right, so that would be the end of the bull market, really. That would be basically a head and shoulders. But if we did get that head and shoulders, right? So Bitcoin has a head, a shoulder, a head, and then it comes down like this, right? That would mean XRP also comes down just like that. But then once Bitcoin goes into its retrace, that could, in fact, give us a massive pump, even, you know, beyond $5, right? Because it would be going into the retrace. And just like before, just like back over here, right? You had everything, it all happened in the retrace. So if I could just put this up like that, I'm trying to, okay, so you have a rise, you have a crash, and then you have your retrace right there. So during the retrace, that's where we got the big explosion, right? We got the big explosion in the bear market. So basically once Bitcoin's top is in, like it was in right there, that doesn't mean the altcoin's top is in, because you could see the top for XRP came later than the top of Bitcoin, which means if it's the same kind of situation here and this rolls over and we come down, but then we go into a retrace, that could mean another big explosion, right? So let's see how that all plays out. As far as everything else, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, like if we look at, I mean, it's not, this is not what we wanted to see. All right. Now, you could see it looks like a little bit of a three-way move shaping up in here, but yeah, we're definitely in a range. We have a three-way pullback, and we have a double bottom, and we have a double top. So this is ranging in here. So if we break down or if we break up, that's the big thing, right? So which one's it going to be? Well, we have to monitor the small time frames and see how it continues to play out, right? We are cupping in, you know, resistance. We're cupping into the resistance. We're cupping into the resistance, right? You could see a shoulder. You could see a head. Maybe we get another shoulder. It still could be very bullish, right? It could be a flat, or it could be, you know, for example, this could be, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and then we have a fast aggressive C wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and that's your C. Come down here, back test, hold the line, and then continue up. But if we break the line and then we come back up and we reject the line, then we can come out and say, yeah, it's not looking good, right? So far we're doing okay, but it looks like we definitely have more downside to come. At least that's what it appears like. So definitely bearish, short-term bearish for sure. I mean, wow. So yeah, we're just talking about the short term, nothing, you know, crazy. But like if you look at Litecoin, right, you still got that three-way move. You came up in the retrace level and then you got rejected. I mean, that's kind of normal, but we want to see a corrective structure. We don't want to see a big crash. We want to see a nice flag, right? So let's see if we get that flag coming in. You know, the problem with Theta and other coins is when you had the big crash, you didn't get away from the scene of the crime, right? This is a bloody crime scene. We got to get away from it, right? But we didn't. You know, we had a bloody crime scene, and then we came back to we basically went back to the crime scene, you know? And then you basically just have too much heavy rain clouds above you, right? And you're just getting pushed down. So you really want to you want to stabilize and then go up. Kind of like what you did over here. You stabilized for a while and you had a liquidity grab. Same thing over here. You stabilized for a while and you had a liquidity grab. Well, what if that's something that's happening now, where, you know, we come down, we have our liquidity grab, we come back up, right? And then we build a base. We still get that liquidity grab, but then we go up. So I think that's a very good idea. Let's see how it plays out. You know, looks like IMX is kind of triangular right there. Filecoin. Yeah, so we're still, I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, yes, it is very bearish. We just had I mean, not very bearish, but we just had a big move down. But we're still within the range, so it really doesn't matter, right? We're still within the range. So ADA has an engulfing daily candle, so that's very bearish, right? So this could easily just come down like that, and it could be something like a flag, right? Or like a WXYXZ. So that's your 1, and then that's your 2, and then we go up. Or, you know, you have 3 waves down. This could be coming down like this, and then you come up in 3, and then you come down down in 5, and then you have 3. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, A, B, C, 2, then go up. So what about like the stock market? What's going on over there? Do I have the RTY on this one? Yeah, so the RTY is down big time. So I don't know what happened today. Is there some kind of news? Well, if you just Google why is the stock market down today, it basically says, the S&P was been going up for 8 days in a row, and now it's going down because Oracle is coming down. So whatever that means, Oracle, I don't know if that has everything to do with it. It could just be, we need a little bit of a break. Obviously, we're right at all-time highs, right? And the idea is if the Russell 2000, which is basically 2,000 companies, 2,000 U.S. companies traded on the U.S. Russell 2000. It's not major indexes like the S&P or those big companies. These are more mid or small cap companies, right? And there's a lot of companies that make up for it. And this is the bread and butter of the real economy. So if it can't break out, then it's got a problem, right? And you came down here, we built a base. We came down here, but we didn't build a base. We didn't get away from the scene, right? Which is a little bit different in the stock market. You can see right here in 2020, we slammed down, we went straight up, right? It was just a reaction. We had 3 waves down. We had 3 waves up. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So we had a 3, 3, 5. We had an A, B, C. So that could be a 1 and a 2. Or it could be a 3 and a 4. I have to look further back. Obviously, yeah, it'd be a 3 and a 4. So you can kind of see like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is it 7 waves and it's over? We've been going up since 2009, right? So 2008, we had the big financial crisis, and we've been just going up ever since. So I think we can break out. I think we will break out. We're approaching the holiday season. So I think we can break out. I still think we can. It looks a lot better than XRP and things like that. But I think we probably might need a little bit of a correction here. I mean, we came up so fast, like we came from here to there, 20%. So let's see how that plays out. I mean, it would be nice to see if we could get just a little bit of a flag, a little bit of a consolidation, and then just break out. That would be the idea. Hopefully we can see something to that effect. So other than that, the Dow, everyone thought the top of the Dow was there. Everyone thought the top of the Dow was there, but then it broke out new all-time high, right? So it's kind of funny. Everyone is thinking, oh yeah, we're never going to see a high for the next whatever time it is. But, they keep pushing it up, right? And that's just computers and derivatives and manipulation, and it's not the real economy. People have all this money. Where do you do with it? They just shove it in the stock market. Even if it's not great, they keep putting it in the stock market. Why? Because you're trying to beat inflation. You're trying to beat, why would you be in cash, a currency that's dying? When you look at the stock market over the last 100 years, you can see over the last 100 years, anyone with a brain since 1896, right? We're going up and 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 up. Why? Because the dollar's going down, 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 right? So over time, it goes up. And that's what I want people to understand with crypto, is that crypto is related to the stock market, right? Yes. Okay. So when is it not going to be? Well, if we can get utility coming in with regulation, which is basically we already got one piece of regulation, but we need more. But over time it goes up, which means what? Which means crypto will go up. And crypto is going to go up even more. Why? Because, it's better. It's technology, right? So You know, we had a 3-month 9 here. We have a 2 over a 1. Yeah, it's not. The stock market for me is hard to read compared to crypto, because crypto is more corrective, and you know, the stock market is just like, you know, just does that, you know, and it's kind of like, it's a little bit more challenging to read for me. But yeah, here's the S&P 500. I mean, you could see, look at the S&P 500. It's just been going up, right? Steadily going up. So that's why people keep, even though times are, the economy might not be so good, and you have overvalued stocks, but it's not about them being overvalued. It's just like, well, what other options do we have? We have gold, we have silver, we have crypto, we have stocks, we have bonds, we have treasuries. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know, like, so people just shove it in the stock market and everywhere else. So what I hope isn't the case is that this is a B wave. If this is a B wave, if this is A, B, and then we get C, that would suck really bad. So I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just, this is a flat right here, and it looks really good. It looks like a flat. Boom, boom, boom. And now we have a wave 1. So let's come down for a wave 2. And then during that wave 2, if we overlay XRP, right? So if XRP is a flat A, B, C, and we come down, then the Russell could be a wave 1, and then we have A, B, C, right? And then we come up, and then we go up. So that would be a nice thing to see if we could do something like that. The NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're at $1.80 or $2.86. You know, it's better than being down here, right? We have a range. I mean, that's what XRP likes to do, really. You know, it just goes sideways, it breaks out, it goes sideways, it breaks out, it crashes, retraces, reaccumulation. Goes sideways forever, breaks out, now we're going sideways again. So that's kind of like over there. So we want one more pop, then a crash, then a retrace, reaccumulate, you know, and then start over again. So I'll be uploading this for all of the members out there. This doesn't count as a members video, but I'm listing it as a members video, just to give you guys a quick update. I mean, yeah, it does count as a members video, but I'm still gonna do a lot more. I mean, what you know, we haven't really been doing anything for weeks, right? So it's really like I'm limited at what I can say. But once this range breaks, I can promise you we're gonna get a lot more members videos, especially how things are transpiring and how it looks when we break down. Does it look like a catastrophe? Does it look more corrective, right? So we'll get all that stuff. I might just list it for members first and then later public. We'll see. Yeah, but you know, when I look at XLM though on the 10-day chart, it actually looks pretty good. You know how we came up and then we came back down, but then we're flipping red, green, red, green. When you flip red, green, red, green, red, green, whatever way the trend was going in the first place, so in this case it was coming down, we're coming down, and then we're going red, green, red, green, usually that means coming back up. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, we'll look at Bitcoin. Okay, so XRP versus Bitcoin definitely made a move. For sure made a move. Look at that. Look at that. So that's exactly what we would expect. You know, we had a little bit of a triangle here and it broke down, but what I'm saying here is that this is 1, 2, and now we're getting 3. This is a 3-wave move. So if we get 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves, or it could be 5, which would suck, but it could be. It could be a running flat, it could be a regular or an expanded flat. There's no way of knowing. There's just no way of knowing until you have to track it. So one way you can, let's see if this would work here. If I did, I don't know if I would start it there or there since it's the high. I'll start it here first. Yeah, so the 1-to-1 would be down here. So that's a big move percentage wise. That's still like 30% down. That's a big situation. So if we had XRP on stage here with us, you could see that this is already breaking down before the USD pair is breaking down. So because XRP versus Bitcoin is breaking down, it makes it more likely that XRP USD will do the same. And if we had, a 30% move, I'm not, if I start it kind of in the middle and I go down 30%, well, that brings us exactly where we were just talking about, right down in this $2.10 area. We were just talking about 210. So yeah, man, it's just we're stuck in this. We got to get the hell out of there or we're going to break down. So it's not up or down. It's always up or down, right? It's always up or down, but overall we want it to be up, right? After this correction, right? So you could say, well, yes, it's down in this short term, but it's up over the long term. So is there anything else we could look at real quick that might give us a little bit of an edge here? Probably not likely. I think I looked at quite a bit of stuff. Let's look at Link and then H bar. So when I look at Link, I see 5 waves up and I see 3 waves down. And now I see this probably is coming down, and then it's going to shoot up and retrace, and then it'll come down, and then it'll go, and that'll be a 1-2. 1-2. Right? So I think that's what's potentially playing out, is that this is going to come down, and instead of just crashing, I mean, it could, right? It could be like this, totally. Or it could be like this. If we have 3, 3, and then 3, and then something like that. Or something like if it's going to just keep getting rejected. But you could see we're right at, these critical highs, and we're trying to get it through. We're trying to get through it. We're flagging out. So it does still look really good, right? I believe it could break to the upside. But I think we got to spend a little bit of time getting this correction finished. H-bar looks really like a falling wedge. I like the way it looks because it's falling. It's not descending, really. It's, it's not like a descending triangle look. It's more of a falling wedge type of look. And I don't like how the trend lines are not completely respected. I guess I could do that. And then give me another one. It's not the greatest shape, but it's something, it gives us a little bit of a falling nature, right? Which could be good, right? And we falling wedges are correcting down and eventually they break up. So it's a matter of when, not if, right? Because this whole thing looks corrective to me. So it's either like we have a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we're just going to crash. Or this is flagging out and we're going to bust up here, right? So you can say, well, how's that helpful? Well, to me, at the end of the day, right, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to know what the next move is, or are you trying to know what the overall move is going to be? Right? The overall move is going to be, for example, this move here, right? You have an impulse, you have a correction, and you have a retrace. So the difference is, if this breaks to the upside, right? If this breaks to the upside, then that means this correction was over. If it doesn't, and it corrects to the down, if it corrects to the downside, that means we have 3 down, 3 up, and then another move down, and that becomes a bigger 3. So we have an impulse, a big 3-way pullback, and then we go up. So again, both of the options are saying we're going up, we're going up. The question is, in the short term, do we go up and break out now, or do we come down and then break out later? But overall, we should break out to the upside if the Russell is going to do that, right? If the stock market remains healthy. So the government shutdown, it's not looking so good. So it could be a little bit of bearishness. But it also gives us ammunition so that when the government shutdown is over and it opens up, it could give us a little bit of a boost in the markets. So we'll see how it all plays out. AVAX, we're only on Tuesday here. I don't like, AVAX looks kind of bearish now that I look at this. It looks like a rising wedge to me. So to me, it looks like it needs to come back down, guys. And what that could be doing is building a bigger base. Boom, boom, right? Something, hopefully not something crazy, but we'll see. But yeah, anyways, I will catch, remember, nothing here is financial advice. I could be totally wrong. Let's see how it all plays out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.